In the harsh, unforgiving landscapes of the African savannah, survival is a daily negotiation. Beneath the spectacular backdrop of sprawling grasslands and acacia trees, an intricate web of relationships dictates who eats, who lives, and who succumbs to the elements. While television documentaries often highlight the dramatic, high-stakes battles between apex predators and their prey, the breathless sprint of a cheetah chasing an impala, or the coordinated strategy of a lion pride bringing down a buffalo, the savannah's most successful survival strategies are often built on cooperation, not conflict. Among these interactions, few are as visually bizarre or ecologically profound as the relationship between the common warthog, Phacochirus africanus, and the banded mongoose, Mongoose mungo. To the casual observer, the scene looks like a recipe for disaster. A large, powerfully built mammal equipped with razor-sharp tusks lying perfectly still, while a hyperactive pack of small carnivores swarms across its skin, biting at its ears, exploring its nostrils, and crawling directly over its eyes. Yet, this is not an attack, nor is it a display of dominance. It is an exquisitely tuned, mutually beneficial partnership. A classic example of mutualism, where two entirely different species trade services to overcome the distinct challenges of their environment. The protagonists of the savannah. To understand why this partnership works, one must look closely at the two very different creatures involved. Each brings a specific set of needs and capabilities to the table. The warthog, a magnet for parasites. The African warthog is built for a tough life on the ground. They are sturdy, resilient omnivores that spend much of their day rooting through the soil with their snouts for bulbs, roots, and grass. Because they frequently seek shelter in underground burrows, often stealing or inheriting them from aardvarks to escape the midday heat and nocturnal predators, they are constantly exposed to a hidden danger: parasites. The savannah is crawling with ectoparasites, parasites that live on the outside of a host's body, most notably ticks and fleas. A warthog's thick, coarse skin and sparse hair offer the perfect canvas for these pests. Ticks gather in massive numbers, embedding themselves in the soft, vulnerable folds of skin where the warthog cannot reach. Behind and inside the ears, around the groin and underarms, directly around the eyelids and snout. These ticks do more than just cause irritation. They drain the animal's blood, cause painful swelling, and act as vectors for severe diseases like African swine fever. For a warthog, a heavy parasite infestation is a chronic health crisis that drains its energy and compromises its immune system. Lacking flexible limbs, grooming claws, or a specialized grooming appendage like an elephant's trunk, the warthog has very few ways to rid itself of these bloodsuckers. Rubbing against trees or rolling in the mud offers only temporary relief. The banded mongoose, the mini predator pack. On the other side of the equation is the banded mongoose. Weighing only about 2 to 4 pounds, these highly social, ferret-like carnivores live in tightly knit packs, ranging from 10 to 40 individuals. Unlike many other small mammals, mongooses are diurnal, active during the day, and spend nearly all their waking hours on a collective forage. A mongoose's diet is heavily reliant on invertebrates. They are insect-eating specialists, using their keen sense of smell and sharp claws to scratch through leaf litter, elephant dung, and loose soil for beetles, scorpions, spiders, and grubs. However, maintaining the high metabolic rate required to keep a pack of mongooses moving, playing, and defending their territory requires a massive, continuous influx of protein. They are opportunistic feeders. They cannot afford to pass up an easy, nutrient-dense meal. The encounter: a spar in the scrub. When a foraging pack of banded mongooses crosses paths with a heavily infested warthog, a remarkable behavioural shift occurs in both animals. Mongooses swarm warthog. Less than arrow left. Ticks eaten. Protein meal. less than vertical bar. The warthog, recognizing the mongoose pack, will intentionally slow its pace and approach them. Instead of fleeing or displaying aggression with its intimidating tusks, the warthog deliberately initiates the interaction by dropping its massive body onto the dirt. It adopts what biologists call a Spar posture. It rolls onto its side, stretches out its limbs, and sometimes even lies completely flat on its back, exposing its vulnerable underbelly and throat to the little carnivores. It is an explicit sign of surrender and invitation. The mongooses require no further encouragement. The pack quickly swarms the recumbent giant. Like a synchronized pit crew at a racetrack, different individuals take up positions across the warthog's body. The face crew. Several mongooses will climb directly onto the warthog's snout and forehead. They carefully nibble around the eyelids and eyelashes, pulling away the ticks that have attached themselves to the delicate tissue. The ear specialists. Mongooses will literally stick their heads inside the warthog's large, floppy ears, using their sharp teeth to pluck out deeply embedded ticks. The undercarriage team. While the warthog lies on its side, other mongooses work the soft skin of the belly, armpits and groin, where ticks gather in dense clusters. During this entire process, the warthog enters a state of apparent bliss. It will close its eyes, let its ears droop, and remain utterly motionless. Even when a mongoose uses its sharp teeth to yank a stubborn tick directly from its eyelid, a sensation that would normally trigger a violent flinch, the warthog remains perfectly still, intuitively understanding that the brief flash of pain results in long-term relief. The science of mutualism, a win-win deal. In evolutionary biology, true altruism, doing something for another species out of pure kindness, is practically non-existent. Every cooperative behaviour must yield a survival or reproductive benefit to persist across generations. The relationship between the warthog and the mongoose is a flawless execution of cleaning mutualism, an ecological interaction where one partner removes parasites from another. What the warthog gains: parasite load reduction. The primary benefit is the immediate removal of blood-sucking ticks that the warthog could never remove on its own. Disease prevention. By lowering the number of ticks, the warthog significantly reduces its risk of contracting systemic infections and blood-borne illnesses. Energy conservation. Constantly scratching against rocks or trees takes time and energy. The mongooses provide a comprehensive, zero-effort grooming service that allows the warthog to rest. What the mongoose gains: high-density protein. Ticks filled with mammalian blood are essentially tiny, self-contained protein capsules. Foraging for scattered beetles in the dirt is hard work. Cleaning a warthog provides a concentrated buffet in a single, localized spot. Reduced foraging energy. Instead of digging through hard earth, the mongooses simply pluck their food off a static surface. This drastically lowers the energetic cost of finding a meal. Safety in numbers. Because the warthog is a large mammal, its presence can temporarily deter smaller predators, like jackals or birds of prey, providing a safer environment for the mongooses to feed without constantly scanning the sky. Cultural transmission and learned behaviour. One of the most fascinating aspects of this relationship is that it is not purely driven by hardwired instinct. It is a learned behaviour passed down through generations. Not every warthog population in Africa engages in this behaviour, and not every mongoose pack knows how to clean a warthog. This unique partnership is heavily documented in specific regions, such as Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda. In these areas, the behaviour has become part of the local culture of both species. Young mongooses watch their elders climb onto the massive mammals and quickly learn that these giants are a source of food, not danger. Conversely, young warthogs observe their mothers lying down for the mongooses and learn to associate the small, striped creatures with comfort and relief. If a mongoose pack or a warthog grows up in an area where this interaction doesn't occur, they may view each other with suspicion or indifference, proving that this complex symbiosis relies heavily on social learning and environmental memory. The delicate balance of trust. The survival of this mutualistic bond hinges entirely on trust. By lying down and exposing its throat and soft underbelly, the warthog puts itself in a vulnerable position regarding its surrounding environment. Simultaneously, the mongooses are placing themselves within inches of a mammal that weighs up to 250 pounds and possesses tusks capable of goring a leopard. One wrong move, a clumsy step by the warthog, or an overly aggressive bite from a mongoose could instantly shatter the peace. Yet, millions of years of co-evolution have fine-tuned this interaction. The mongooses treat the warthog with a striking level of care, handling the delicate areas around the eyes and ears with precision. The warthog displays a profound degree of patience, tolerating dozens of tiny claws scratching across its face. When the cleaning session concludes, which can last anywhere from 10 minutes to over half an hour, the warthog will slowly stand up, shaking its body to signal that the service is over. The mongooses scatter back into the grass to resume their march across the savannah, and the warthog, now lighter, healthier, and free of pain, returns to its rooting. Nature's masterclass in cooperation. The sight of a family of banded mongooses crawling all over a warthog's face is a powerful reminder that nature is not merely a theatre of violence. While competition drives much of the natural world, cooperation is an equally potent evolutionary force. By forming an alliance across species lines, the warthog and the mongoose have found a creative solution to their respective survival hurdles. They prove that, on the African savannah, sometimes the best way to get ahead is to lie down, trust your neighbours, and let them crawl all over your face.